Alright, moving on. Episode 7.
Episode 7. I put in brackets the best episode.
Yeah, I think I'll give you that.
And it is so we get at the start of the episode, Yori he doesn't invite his friends over. Let's just get this.
No, they just kind of barge in.
They just kind of just want to come over because they find out that he's living with Chisa. Or they think that he's living with Chisa. And they want to prove that he's not. To which Yori then needs to not only hide Chisa, but also
Nanaka as well.
Because she's meant to be the hot older sister and all this. So you get that, which is hilarious. At the start of the episode.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, some of the notable things is I think one of them goes to the toilet or something, and he ends up seeing Nanaka.
Yamamoto,
and he just comes back and says, I think I've seen an angel.
Yeah,
like,
Yamamoto, yeah, he's a proper horn dog. It's so, yeah. And then, so that is a good part of the episode, but the best bit of the episode is they play tennis. Right, so
the tennis match.
They basically are playing tennis against Tinkerbell. Again, it brings the rivalry back up. It is for, I believe, for money as well. This was one of the reasons
second place prize money.
Yeah, it's 3 matches as well. Three doubles matches, I might add.
Yes. Important later.
Very important. To which the seniors play match 1.
Yeah.
And because they're absolute meatheads, they can just absolutely smash the ball for aces.
I think it's very important to note it's not as you'd expect to start with.
No.
Because it's like they start off dead calm, everything's fine, and it just like throws the ball and goes 1, 2, and then just shouts 3, smashes it full power, and about to take someone's head off.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
So we get the seniors, and they just blitz their first game. They win that, and you're not expecting that because they're literally up against a tennis club, so you're expecting them to be good.
Yeah, I think like halfway through the match, it's revealed that they are drunk because of
the rugby.
Think about spiking their drinks.
Yes, and also they spiked because the rugby club are there to support them as well, I believe.
Yes, and the rugby club's knocked out.
Yeah, so they knock them out. To which I believe game 2 is the girls, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it's Chisa and Aina who play.
Yes.
To which I think they lose. To make it.
I believe they do, but
yeah.
Some of the funny bits in it is when Yuri and everybody's just shouting "nice body." Loads of random people out from nowhere going, "Oh, there's a woman with a nice body over here." There's a woman with a nice body, and she's just really embarrassed.
She's, super embarrassed about it. So they lose their game.
Yeah.
And then it's the time of Yuri and Kai to play their game. Yeah. To which we find out that Yuri's really good at tennis.
Yeah, he's good at physical sports, weirdly enough.
Really, extremely good. But on the other side, Kai's
useless.
Fucking shit at this point. To which he does the serve back, which is one of the funniest bits. Where it's the typical anime build up of like a power hit. It's like and he goes to smack it, and then it goes through the air,
it just falls off
just
onto
drops
the ground
on the floor, and then everyone just goes, "He's rubbish." This guy's terrible.
But yeah, I think like during the match, he tries to smash the camera like Yuri does.
Yeah, they're filming the game to make a joke out of him. They're trying to get him back. Yeah. So he smashes the camera on one of his serves, which is he tries to smash the camera, and they are then trying to protect it, which then makes the game go in their favor because he's basically playing 2-on-1 at this point.
Yeah. And I think Go has like a massive go at him, like he wants to like get a knockout or something.
Yeah.
And then that leads into which you can explain.
They find out that they're allowed to swap through injury. Is basically the idea. To which Yuri takes it upon himself to serve an absolute smasher into the back of Kawai's head, so he knocks him out. To which they then say that they need to change, and at this point, the seniors have sobered up.
Yep.
And they play the rest of the match and win it, basically.
Completely destroy him.
Yeah.
It's funny how they step on the court though, and like the captain of Tinkerbell literally just shits himself because he sees what he's going to be against.
It's the way that he smashes him in the back of the head with the ball though, and then because he just knows what he's doing, he just grabs his foot and he's dragging him behind him, and he's like substitution, and he just walks off the foot goal, and then them two step on. I'm like, oh god. But,
oh no, not again.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the best episode of the anime, 100% for me.
In terms of like the shit comedy and how it snowballs, definitely, it's one of the best ones.
And again, it's kind of filler.
It's kind of filler, yeah.
It's kind of the weird. It's just like a full filler episode, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with diving whatsoever. It's
like
just there.
Most of the anime, this
like most of the anime is with diving.
Yeah.
So episode 8. Which is I've only got down the bar scene because not a great deal happens.
Right. Well, I've got down that the guys have to get jobs because they need to buy their own equipment.
Okay.
So they join one of the seniors to do a moving job.
Yes. Okay. I remember now.
Which is strenuous work. This is right at the beginning of the anime. Right at the beginning of the episode. Sorry. So the scene, I can't remember the senior which one it was. He's like, because he's a meathead, he's just carrying boxes and boxes, no problem. Whereas them two are struggling with one box.
Yeah, I think it's like they're like it takes them about 5 minutes just to get one, like go to the truck and then come back, and then meanwhile it's just him jogging in the background.
To which they then are absolutely knackered. They've had a hard day's work, the lads, and they go out for drinks.
Yep.
To which they spend all the money they made.
Yes.
And then are told that they have to do it all again, to which they don't want to do it. So they go to where the other senior's working, which is he's working as a barman.
Yes. Some of the funniest bits in it.
Again, this is such a good episode. It's so they find out that he's a really good barman because he listens to the customers like moan about their problems.
Yeah, about their days and life and whatever.
He's a good listener. And the owner of the bar is like a really nice guy. He knows them all as well. To which he then offers Yuri and Koei basically a chance at bartending.
Yes. And hilarity ensues shortly afterwards. Because I think I'm trying to remember the first drink that's served by the experienced senior that's working there. I think it's like a lime sour or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's literally so basically what they describe is the drink. It's like, oh, can I have a screwdriver? It's just like, I'm pretty sure they just pour vodka in a glass with some ice and then put like a crosshead screwdriver in it and just hand it to her. And it goes, what is this? It's like, oh, it's what you ordered, it's a screwdriver. She has a massive go at them for it. It's his Ida. Has a massive go at them for it. And he goes, oh, what have we done wrong? I think I might know. Hands her another glass. It's got another screwdriver in it, but when she takes it out, it's like a flathead.
Yeah, that's where they thought they went wrong. Not the fact that they're putting a tool in their drink. It's just
yes. And it's not another bit that's in the bartending scene as well, is when they're learning how to make drinks just in general. And I think it's like Keiki's like, sorry, Aina's imagining this romantic scene where they're learning passionately. Basically, it's like, I think Kohei starts with the shaker, and when he's shaking it, it's just pouring all over Yuri as it comes out the top.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is that they touch glasses together, and Yuri just pours it in his eyes.
Yeah, he does it on purpose, basically, to get him back for covering him with the drink. But they're also reading the book, aren't they?
Yes,
so it comes up. So it comes because they still think that the drink is exactly what it is described. They see Russian mule, to which he then starts like he like just looks.
It comes up with like moss ball or something, doesn't it?
It's like how, and then I think they see sex on the beach as well.
Yes.
To which he sort of starts getting excited, and it's just it's like such a really strange scene. But It then ends up with the owner of the bar
Yes.
finding out that Yuri and Kawhi are quite close, but he takes it the wrong way.
Yes, he thinks they're together, kind of thing.
And then he starts asking Yuri a load of questions away from Kawhi, and it's like the way that he's answering makes it sound like they're a couple.
Yeah.
And he's like the flicks of the hair that he starts getting stressed out about it. It just gets me.
And then he has a drink of I think it's no, it's not Chisa. Akasa's drink, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like a really strong drink because it's her, and he ends up pissed off of like half a glass of it.
Yeah.
And ends up like sort of passing out onto the counter. And probably one of the funniest and creepiest things Iori does in the entire anime. Basically, he just goes up behind him, and as he says, "If you fall asleep now, I don't know what will happen to you." And the guy just wakes up instantly with like the most fear I've ever seen in a character's eyes because he thinks it's going to do something to him. It's like, oh my god. And you're right, it is a double whammy. I've just seen some of the notes I've got.
So that's the first half of the anime. Oh,
that's the first half.
That's the first half. So the second half is it's probably the best bit of this episode, actually. This gets me. So
it has a lot of good bits.
after a long day at work, not doing anything. This is the best bit. They go for drinks with Yamamoto, or they go around one of their places, don't they? And it's Yamamoto and Hajime they're with. To which they've got a third. There's a third friend or a fifth friend of the group, if you like. To which they phone him up to find out where he is, and find out that he's with a girl.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the group is that they're all virgins together, basically, aren't they? None of them are dating. It's all that sort of thing. And if one person's dating, the idea is that they're meant to get girlfriends for everyone. Is the idea?
Yes. It's kind of like if one of them's going to do it, they're all going to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So they find out that he's with a girl.
You better mention my favourite bit coming up. I'm going to be annoyed.
Well, I'll try to.
It's like literally on the cusp at the minute.
To which, they find out that it's a cousin as well, don't they? Which is a bit rough.
I don't know. I think it's childhood friend. I'm not sure if it's cousin.
No, I think they're related. Because she starts calling him something.
Oh no, he does call them brother, but I think that's a childhood thing. I think they say it is. I don't know if they're actually related.
But it freaks him out. So they find out. If correct me if I'm wrong, or if I've missed out the bit that you're on about. So
I missed that bit that I'm on about.
Okay, so they go to the house.
You've just missed the bit I'm on about.
Right. Okay. Then
it's the manner in which they leave.
Right. Put it in.
Okay, so it's more the way that they leave that I find hilarious. So when they're on the phone, they find out that he's with a girl. He just puts the phone down, and it's like, oh, buddy. He's like, oh, he's with a girl, and everyone's like, oh, I can understand why he'd want to be with a girl than without us. And then he just cuts to Iori, like throwing his jacket behind his back and says, "Let's go set him on fire." It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like the village going with pitchforks. Basically, they're gonna go and murder him.
It's just like the attitude switch that gets me.
Yeah.
It's completely out there.
To which,
but then it goes into
they find out where he is, and he's and the poor guy is like actually he's trying to get his end away. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
anyways, you know, he's gonna break through that wall, and then they try bothering him. So they try knocking on the door.
Doing porn videos.
Throwing porn, like pretending that they're delivery men, throwing all the porn films through the like under the door and everything. They try knocking on the windows. They try phoning him. They try everything. To which we then get the best bit, which is Kawhi's got a secret talent.
Yes, the only talent he's got,
which is he can basically do a female's voice. Or multiple female voices.
Multiple female voices.
To which he then knocks on the door and just starts doing about 5 or 6 different female voices saying that like they're in love with him and stuff like that. To which she basically just storms out, I believe. He chases after her, and then comes up with a fucking banging line of which, are we never gonna get together, or like, or we're never gonna be, can we never be together? And she goes, no. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, could you give my number to your friends? To which she then uppercuts him.
Yes, sends him flying.
Full on uppercuts him. To which the lads catch him, which is amazing, and realise like that they just need each other at that point. But
I need to like comment like she's remarkably strong. There is even like a bit during the whole mess, like literally. I think it's like when he started getting texts. Yeah, he starts getting texts, I think, and basically he grabs him by the neck and then lifts him halfway up into the air. It's like, what the hell? How strong is she?
Yeah, because I don't know if I don't know if this is a Japanese thing, but if you change your name on, because it works on a profile system, I believe. Yes. Contacts over there. So if you change your name on your profile on their phone, it will say,
it will show up the new name.
That name. So they type in a girl's name and play it that way. To which she's like you said, they're getting texts and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if that is a Japanese thing. It might be.
I'll have to try and find out.
It might probably is actually a thing. But so that. Yeah, that episode, it is a close second in terms of being
it's very
the
good,
best one, because it is just throughout the entire episode. Because I've noticed that Grand Blue is basically like they've split the episodes into 2 parts, kind of thing.
Yeah, they kind of do one scene in half the episode and then a whole completely different scene in the second episode, but it all kind of ties in together, which is quite good.
And normally you get like this. Let me be quite clear. None of it is bad, but it's normally you get, okay, that's sort of funny, and then you get a really funny bit.
Yes.
And episode 8 just does get both bits bang on. They're completely different scenes, but they're both
both funny.
Both perfect.
Rolling into number 9.
Episode 9. Yes, I got down the club play King, which is a drinking game.
Yes, to do with chopsticks.
That's it. And they go to buy diving gear for the trip. So they're going to Okinawa.
But
go on.
I say my general overview of this episode, not a great deal happens. There are funny bits in it.
No,
but not a massive amount.
It's a bit like it is a bit more. It's
if you were to have a filler.
The first half is filler.
I was gonna say, if you were to have a filler episode and you wanted the vibe of a filler episode, this would be it.
Yeah. So they play the King drinking game, which for some reason I don't know why they're doing it. I can't remember why they're doing it.
They're trying to order a mixer party for the guys again, and what their plan is, they're going to try and get the 2 numbers on Chisa and I think Keiki or Minor.
Yeah.
And the idea is they've got to organize a mixer if they have those chopsticks when they say to do the rule.
Yes, yeah, because if you're king, you can make everyone do whatever you want.
Yes,
is the idea. So yeah. So there is an intention of trying to trick them, but it just doesn't happen.
There's like a circle of weird commands that are said, but ultimately it lands on one of the seniors. I think it's Tokita, or whatever his name is, the brown-haired one. Basically, it turns out it says, "Oh, number 4 must organize a mixer," and it's just a scene where it's like on his face, and he's got like an evil Titan face. He's just looking at the number 4, and then they end up doing like a massive mixer with the rugby team.
Yeah.
Yamamoto
and Hajime get dragged in to that.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, what the hell?
Because they're going to pay for how many girls actually show up to the party.
That's it.
Because they need the funding.
That was it. So then we go to the diving shop.
Yeah, I think this might actually have a good moment for you.
It does have an amazing moment for me. So it's quite innocent. They're buying gear. And this is where you actually start... You do start to... Believe it or not, it gets kind of educational. There's been little moments.
Yes.
You start finding out more about the diving, and it actually tells you like what you should be looking for and stuff like that, which is kind of good. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like if you pay attention to the anime and like you can't really ignore the humor, but there's like a lot of educational stuff in there. It's quite a lot of animes actually do that. It's quite good in
Yes,
that
there
sense.
is a few that I've watched a few on different subjects that have done that, but you get told certain information about deep sea diving. So if you do want to get into deep sea diving, it's probably a good anime to watch. You might actually learn a thing or two, believe it or not.
You'll learn a thing or two, but yeah,
Don't
learn more before you go.
you'll have a good time watching it. You'll learn a thing or two, but don't take everything as gospel because oolong tea is not 9
Yeah, it's not
vodka
tea.
and 1 whiskey, believe me. And vodka doesn't count as water just because it looks like it. But anyway, there
And
is
spiritus is not as nice as if it
don't
is.
touch it. So they go to to buy gear, and you're taught to buy a mask because it's not something you want to be borrowing. Number one,
And it's not that expensive.
It's not expensive, and it's a very key component because it's having a mask that fits your face is very important. To which we do get some funny bits, and one of the funny bits is that, and it's a good, what would you call it? Like an Easter egg? Kind of, it's an Easter egg, isn't it?
I won't say it's an Easter egg. It's a reference would be like the closest thing I've got to.
A reference, yeah. So Kawaii sees 2 swimsuits.
Yes.
One's white, one's red. And he starts getting really
I think
emotional.
he like starts muttering or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. And Yuri tells him that he'll get Chisa and Aina to try him on.
Yeah.
No problem
Which
at all.
he does, weirdly enough.
To which he is successful with it. Yeah, which is really quite strange. Aina wears the white one and Chisa wears the red one. And it is referencing Neon Evangelion Genesis, which is kind of funny because Aina does look similar to.
Yeah, the resemblance of the two is just uncanny.
Is it? I think it's Ray. I'm trying to remember her name. It's been a while.
I'm not going to know. So
and Chisa looks a little bit like a Asuka because she's redheaded in that as well. So it's kind of funny. And it's a good little reference. Obviously, if you haven't watched that, you're not going to get the reference. But if you've watched it, you'll definitely. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the screen going. It's definitely that moment. So that's funny because he loses it as well.
Yeah, it's like the best reaction really to it. It explodes into fire.
Yeah,
and then just starts crying on the floor, saying, "I'll call you my best friend for the rest of the day."
And that's pretty much it for episode 9. Really?
Yeah, there's not that great deal of context in there.
Yeah.
There are the odd funny jokes here and there, but nothing major.
To which we then go into episode 10.
Yes. Which is there's a bit more to it, because it's when I think they're studying for the diving licenses at this point.
Well, they arrive in Okinawa.
Yes.
They actually arrive in Okinawa.
Yes, they do. I was just right. So there's a funny bit for me right at the start of the episode, and it's when Ayana's actually going onto the beach, and she's like saying, "Oh, this is such a precious memory for me. I'll never forget this." And then it just pans out, and like all the guys are naked running down the beach with her.
She's running down the beach, and she's like all joyous. And then as it pans out, like you said, they're all just naked running down the beach because it's a private beach. Let's get that out there. So they rent a home, and it has a private beach.
Yes.
And the guys just instantly go, "Oh, we can be naked. It doesn't matter."
Yes, it ruins a memory basically. So they go to a public beach.
Yes, she makes. And then she makes them go to a public beach, and the way she does it is very, very funny.
Yes,
she's like, she goes, "We're going to a public beach," and one of the senior goes, "No, we've got our own beach," and she just steps closer and she goes, "We're going to a public beach." It's like, okay, we're going to a public beach.
Yeah, then it segues into random nonsense to start with, but then they start going on about like the jet ski thing. Like there's like they can go on a jet ski.
It's like a it's not a banana boat, but it's like a thing, like a float thing that's dragged behind the boat.
You're basically being towed by a jet ski.
Yeah,
is basically the sense of it. But Iori and Kohei decide to make a bet, and it's whoever falls off it has to sleep in the other room. Like they can't sleep in the room.
Yeah, they
So whoever
can't.
stays on stays in the room.
Yeah, they don't get the bed in the room with the seniors because there's only space for
Yes.
3 in there. Then the 2 girls are in together, and then someone has to sleep with uh, Nanaka and waifu, which I'll be
I
brutally
don't
honest,
think
I'd be happy to.
I know, but I don't think it's revealed that that's the point at the start. I don't think
No.
they. I think it's a case of you'd have to sleep on the sofa if you
Yes.
aren't allowed in that room. That's
Yeah.
like the initial thought.
Yeah. It's basically just find your own place to sleep is the idea.
Yeah, more or less. So they basically sabotage each other by putting tanning oil all over the chairs and handles, and so it becomes super slippery for them. And I remember when they're actually on it, Ina's like watching them from afar, and she's saying, "Oh, look at them! They're experiencing youth and having the time of their lives." And it's like her view. It's like Chisa's holding on to Yuri. Yuri's like laughing. Kohei's laughing as well. And then it switches back to reality. Chisa's just like a deadpan face and fed up with this. And then you got Yuri going, hanging on
I'm
for dear
I'm I'm
life.
pretty sure, right? Chase is not even holding on. I'm pretty sure she's just cross-armed, sitting there,
Yes.
and them two are like you said, holding on for dear life and like making it look like such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I don't. Well, basically the result of it is they both fall off, but I think Iori falls off by. No, they fall off at the same time, but a wave pops up and it hits Iori's
yeah.
head, and that's why he loses. But going back to Ina wants to give it a go, and she ends up going with the 2 seniors, and it's just so stable throughout the whole thing. It looks really boring. It's
Yeah,
like I feel bad for Ina at this point.
she's now bored out of her. I think she's actually crying as well
Yeah,
at
she's
that
crying on
point.
it.
And
Says,
them
"Oh,
two,
what's wrong?"
and them two are going, "Oh, there's a right turn coming up. Be careful!" And here it
Yeah.
comes now, and they just all go with it, and it's like it just takes all the joy out of it completely. Yeah, that's it's a funny moment. Again, this episode's not it's not amazing into like
It's
it's
still
not a
got the
super
jokes in
fun,
there.
but there's still some great jokes being pushed throughout.
Yeah.
So we find out that Yuri's lost a bet, and then they end up offering him to sleep in the same room
Yes,
as
with Akusa and Nanaka.
yeah. To which so they got the test the next day because they've been diving. I don't. Did they go diving as well?
I don't
I
think
think
they go diving.
I think I thought they did a bit of diving because it was practice. Because I thought they did the thing with they were doing the oxygen tanks.
I want to say that might be in a previous episode. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I thought
Either
it
way,
was.
they've
I
done
thought
practice in the past.
anyway. So he finds out that he's sleeping in the same room as them. So which is very funny because he has the written test for the diving license,
Yes.
same as Aina and Kai. They're both sound asleep, no problems at all.
Yes.
He is wide awake between 2 very big-breasted women. Or
Yes.
that's what they give us at that point, which is
Yes.
hilarious. We
I can just
then
remember holding the phone up and typing away, trying to send texts to
yes,
go to get him out.
yeah, to which he's just asleep, so he doesn't get any of
Yes.
it. So then we skip to the morning after. Kawhi is talking to Aina about all the texts that he's got. He's like, oh, he's been texting me all night. I wonder what happened.
Yeah.
To which the 2 seniors go, I hope he did get some sleep if he was texting all night.
Mm.
To which he then comes down, I believe, wide awake. Like, he's refreshed as anything.
He seems fine.
But at the same time, they notice that, I don't know if it's this bit first, I might be getting them mixed up, but they notice that he's got marks around his neck.
Yeah, that's later on.
Yeah, which is that he's basically suffocated, like choked himself out to make himself sleep.
He's basically strangled himself to death just so he can sleep. Which, by the way, don't do that.
Please don't do that. But there's also,
there is even a warning on the anime telling you not to do that.
There is literally. He's also been constantly reading the diving booklet that they've got for the test. Like it teaches you everything. To which they start questioning him about it, and he starts getting them right. He's banging it out perfect. To which they then ask him a question, and his reply is boobs.
Yeah, and then the scene just goes, "Hey, wait!"
And they're like, hang on, what's happened? To which the two walk out, and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense why he said boobs.
The best thing is yeah, because I think you're always like having a mental breakdown. He's like, please just look at the book. Don't pay attention. Just look at the book. It's like just head in his hands kind of thing. That's when they come out,
Yeah.
and it cuts to Kohei and Yuri, and I think Yuri's like behind Kohei and just said, "Hey, what do you think?" And Kohei just goes, "I didn't look like a tan."
Isn't he bleeding from the nose as well? He's
Bleeding
like
like
going like
mad
that.
from
He's
the
holding
nose.
it. Yeah, yeah, I remember that bit. But yeah, it's again, like I said, it's not the greatest episode in the world, but it's just some absolute corkers of jokes in
it's
there.
it's Granblue being
Yeah.
Granblue at that point. So moving on to 11.
They do the test as well, just quickly.
They do,
They
yes.
do the test
And
in
he
that.
writes his name.
Yeah,
I remember.
so Chisa's already passed her. She's done it, hasn't she? Even though she's the same age, she's done it.
Yes.
She's done all this. So they say, "I'll go and check Yuri if you're so bothered about it." As she goes and checks, I'm pretty sure his name is Yuri Boobs, if I'm correct, something like that. So
or boobs, is it
that's the
something
bit where
stupid?
she does the slapping as well, which is amazing.
Slaps him across the face numerous times.
So I'd surmise that he's passed the written test because rolling into episode 11,
Yeah, there's a chance for him
is
to pass.
when
So
they're
he
going to
must have.
do the diving. They go to the beginning of the episode. I believe they go to the market.
No, the first bit's of the travel because they're trying to get the trucks and everything organised, aren't they?
The truck and the car. Yeah, that bit's funny.
Yeah. So I don't think that a great deal goes on, but the funny bit is definitely when it's like a truck's oncoming out in the other lane. I'm like, quick, everyone get down so they can't see us. And they just hide under this tarp, and it looks like there's 3 dead bodies in the back. And the driver just goes like freaks out and speeds off.
Yeah.
It's like, we've avoided him.
Yeah, and then
Then it goes into the
they go
market.
to the market. The market is very funny because they're trying to buy a lot of fish, and the fish have all got weird names.
Questionable names, yes.
Questionable names, yeah. Aina is overhearing the seniors, and I believe it was Waifu asking for different fish. I think.
Yeah, it's Akisa. I think she asked for. Well, she wants. She basically says word for word, "I want to eat an old man."
That's it.
That is what she says. But
yeah. So Aina's then trying to tell Kai, and I think it's Shisa as well, isn't it? I don't think it's Yuri.
Yeah, Chisa's there as well.
Yeah. So she's trying to get
doing something else.
Yeah, she's trying to get their attention to tell them. So they then start spying on the seniors and stuff. And she's going, "See, look, I'm telling the truth." To which Chisa then shows her basically a fish book. It says, "No, these are the names of fishes." And then they go, "Oh, I wonder what Yuri's doing." And they find Yuri. He asks for a fish that will poison his friends, basically.
Yeah, he says, "We don't sell that here."
Yeah, because I believe that's because I think I'm right. They've done the diving last episode because that is when Nanaka tells him that he's failing.
Yes, at the start.
He needs to find out. He needs to poison them too so that he can practice. It's clearing the mask, I believe, is what he's struggling with.
Yeah, his biggest fear.
Yeah, so he thinks to poison them, which they obviously overhear and find out.
Yeah.
And then we get a load of cooking bits as well.
Yeah, the kitchen bit where they're trying to organise a plan between Yuri and Chisa, but I will mention the out of context conversation that goes on because it sounds like Chisa and Yuri got together to Aina, but then when Kohei goes in to check on them, it just gets really weird. It turns into some weird sexual fetish thing.
I'm pretty sure he says "Oh, you gotta stand on me" or something, and he goes back to her and he goes, "You're right." It's like
asking her to tie him up or something like that. Yeah. Kohei gets completely the wrong idea.
To which Yuri asks Chisa to help him with the clearing of the mask in the swimming pool out back. He asks her to stand on his head so that he keeps him submerged so that he can practice it. Which, like we said, is taken out of context. They then practice that at night.
Yep.
To which Aina hears Chisa get up and she thinks that she's sneaking off with Yuri.
Yes.
And finds that he's practicing the mask and all this hash.
Yeah, she ends up helping him out.
Yeah. To which he then tells them to go inside and just he'll do whatever. He's naked in the swimming pool because the guy had overseen the pair of them standing on his head, thinking
and drowning him.
And drowning him. A policeman turns up. Yuri can't get out to get his shorts, so he has to sit in while the policeman is searching about the premises. To which we go to the next day, and he's then got a cold.
Yep.
And no one knows why, except for obviously Chisa and Aina.
I know, yeah.
So he can't take part in the test to finish his test, basically.
Yes.
Which is a very, very funny bit because he ends up staying. He has to stay at the house with waifu.
Yes.
And there's a running joke in this episode of the leak. So it's
Would you consider it?
Well, it's a running joke for that episode.
Yeah, for that episode, fair enough.
So he needs medicine, and an old remedy is that you tie a leek around your neck.
Yes.
Yeah, and it gets rid of the cold.
I imagine it's something to do with like the scent of it or something.
It's probably something that's actually a thing. But Yuri doesn't think that. He thinks that the leak goes up the arse.
Yes.
To which
it's like there's two methods of doing it.
Yeah, to which he starts getting the wrong idea about it. Then him and waifu start drinking, to which the guys all come back from their test. Kawai and Aina have both passed, which is great. They come back to find that they're both passed out drunk, but Yuri's got the leak up his arse anyway. He's got one around his neck and he's got one up his arse, which is hilarious. But again, I think that's it for that episode. I don't think there's much more that happens.
No, there's not a great deal that goes on.
And then we're into the final episode.
Finally, yay!
Episode 12. The club goes for its final day of diving in.
Yep.
They're on
like a boat kind of thing,
which is like literally like the intro of the anime. So you actually get to see that sort of like bit now. They get to do 3 dives because they're now got diving license. Yuri has to do 2 dives with. He's at a certain level, and I'll be honest with you, it's the part of the anime that's what the anime is actually about, and it's probably the most boring bit. There is a few funny jokes and stuff with like Kawaii taking the mickey out of him on the boat and saying, "Oh look, the amateur's getting excited because he's on a boat," and stuff like this. It's like, so there is some funny stuff on there, but the best part is the second part of that episode.
Yes, when they do the Atori.
Yes, so they go for celebratory drinks, shall we say? Like basically a party to round off the trip. To which they're not meant to, because last year they destroyed stuff. They find out. So they get yeah, it's a drinking custom as well, isn't it? It's something that they do every time. Because I believe that every freshman member should have passed the test, and it's like that kind of celebrating that as well.
Yeah, it's like a renewal of vows and whatnot.
Yeah,
but basically everyone just has a drink in.
Yeah, so they come up with the plan. The entire club at this point comes up with a plan that because they've not got a drink, not everyone's got drinks that they enjoy, type thing. Like they tried to buy one drink that everyone enjoys.
Yes.
They decide, for some reason, to tip it all into a barrel.
Yes.
No idea why.
It'd be the concept that we have in the UK of a fishbowl. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And they all say their piece and why they're happy to be there and all this, which is funny.
Yep.
To which Yuri and Kawai come up with the plan of trying to water it down, which is actually a really funny bit because there's the bit where I don't know how it happens. I think he gets pushed into him. He ends up punching or hitting one of the members.
Yeah, I think he headbutts someone in the face and breaks his nose or something.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, it happens, no problem at all." And he's all happy with it. And he's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine." To which, when they are watering down the drink,
trying to at least,
the same guy gets really fucking pissed off, like really pissed off.
It's like, "Hey, stop messing around."
Yeah, and he even picks up on it, doesn't he? He goes, "Wait," he goes, "You get pissed off about this, but you're not worried about someone actually hitting you."
Yeah.
So they try watering it down, but it doesn't happen. And then that's kind of just how it ends, really. They just all.
There are a couple of things I will point out. So
yeah.
The funny thing about the Atori is, like you said, everyone's picking out their favorite drinks, but everyone's favorite drink is apparently spiritus.
Yeah.
Add countless bottles to it, so it basically becomes a barrel of spiritus by the end of it. But like towards the end, Aina actually gets hold of some of it and drinks. I think it's like a watered down version because it's what Akaza has.
Yeah.
So it's like around 30%, but she has like half a glass and then she ends up pissed. Starts doing like this weird dull thing, and then she tries to take Iori's pants off. So Iori bolts out the door, and Kohei has to go with her because she's also going after Kohei. But it's literally how, like, if you were to play some kind of horror game where a spirit is chasing you, that would be how you describe it.
Yeah.
But the best thing is, it's like they, like after all this, Iori and Kohei have like this kind of heart-to-heart talk at the end, like saying how they're glad to be in the club, how they're happy, blah blah blah. And then it's just right at the end, you can see like in the darkness, she just comes out like a spirit, like chasing them down, and like, they just scream, and it ends the episode. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
well, it's a very nice ending for it.
And then the ending is them all back on the plane.
Yes, and Chisa has some pictures.
Chisa's showing the pictures, and then that's how the credits roll, and you see the pictures.
Yeah.
And that is the anime, and I mean, it is set up for an episode season 2. It is.
There is a lot that can be done. I know the manga actually goes on.
The manga is, because it introduces new characters, like important characters.
Yeah. I think Iori's actual sister's in it, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she ends up going. It's basically like their second year, and she's a freshman. And so it all kicks off, but it needs a second series. Like,
it needs a second season. Yeah.
It deserves it. It's hilarious.
It's the fact that it's on Amazon Prime. I'm disgruntled by, but at the same time, I get to watch it.
It has been on Amazon Prime for 4 years.
Yes, there is that.
It's not like they've taken it off. You can still watch it. It's been on there the entire time. So if you have watched this video and you've not watched it, shame on you, because you now know what it's about. And
we haven't explored everything though.
We've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, we've done a good job, but that's about it.
But go and watch it regardless, because it's amazing. And that's how it ends, I suppose.
Yeah, by far one of the funniest animes I've ever watched.
Yes, 100%.
I could watch it numerous times, ever and ever again.
Yes.
Scoring. What are we thinking?
Scoring.
Mm.
In terms of funniness.
No, just in general. Like, obviously we did it for Jiu-Jitsu, didn't we?
If I'm doing it in terms of funniness, quickly, it's a 10 out of 10. No questions asked. It's perfect.
Mm.
As a general anime, it's probably like a 7.
Ooh, okay.
Because
that's quite low for you.
Well, it's because, right, if I'm going off of like the animation, like if you just go off of actual general as an anime, break it down, go off the animation's decent. You know, it's not amazing, but it's decent. The story doesn't really go anywhere.
There isn't really a story.
That's what I'm saying. So if you go off of it as a general anime, it's a clean cut 7 to me. But if you're going into it and you're looking for a funny anime, it's 10 out of 10. You cannot, in my eyes, get better. You just can't.
Yeah, okay. I think I'd put it as a 9, maybe 9.5 though.
Okay.
In terms of funniness.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on the 7 if you're going as an overall anime.
Yeah, because
it's fairly good, but it's not out there.
Yeah, because if we go like Jujutsu, I think I gave it like an 8.5 or a 9 or something like that.
Yeah, so you think things like that, it's you can kind of see why.
And we also judged it. We also judged Jujutsu Kaisen on intro and outro.
Yes, we did.
So, Grand Blue's intro and outro are still pretty good. The outro is very funny actually, and there is a different outro, so definitely stick around for that. I'm not going to spoil that. So there is one of the episodes has a different outro, so definitely watch your intros and outros.
Yes.
But yeah, in terms of funniness, 10 out of 10. General anime, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I can get on with that.
Cool.
We have to make like a results list at some point.
Yes, we definitely.
Like, these are all the animes we reviewed so far. Here are the rankings we give them, and this is why.
100%. That is it for this episode. If you enjoy it, leave a like
and a comment.
And a comment. Give us an anime that you'd like us to review, because there might be one
that could also work. Yeah.
If you say one that we've both not seen, then we'll need to watch it and we'll give our honest opinion on it. Which is
Helsing.
I'm not watching it. No.
I want to watch Helsing.
Yeah. Well, we will carry on just with ones that we've watched anyway, and ones that we feel that we want to do. But there's always animes out there that we've never even heard of. There's thousands, in fact, that we've not heard of.
It's a bit scary how many there are.
Yeah. And it actually, if you've got ones that are on par, if you think are funnier than Grand Blue, let us know. Because I do like a good comedy anime.
I'd definitely be up for watching that as well.
Yeah, and I think I've seen a couple. But we'd like to, if there is one that we've not seen, we'd like to know, because I'd like to see it. But like I said, like, comment, subscribe also. There is other videos on this channel. And we will see you hopefully next time.
See you later.